Comic Book Savant, episode 335.
I know this. This I know. All that I have, all that is me, resides inside my poetry. And every time I write a rhyme, it might be the line that sets mine free. And also, I know that I don't...
Welcome to the Comic Book Savant. I'm your host, James Harris. This week, we're going to do something a little bit different from the norm that you get from Comic Book Savant. We're actually going to talk about video games, and actually one video game in particular that I'm a huge fan of, which is the Injustice series done by NetherRelam Studio. It's based on some of the DC characters in the DC universe. The first game came out back in 2013. The first game was called Injustice: Gods Among Us. The new sequel is just Injustice 2. There's no subtitle to it. So we're going to talk about that in depth, the first game and the upcoming game that comes out on the 17th, which is not that far away. But before we get into all of that, as always, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, which is InStockTrades.com. Just a great place to go on the internet when you're looking for collected editions of any assortment. Again, they have Omnibus or Omnibuy if you're looking for multiple, Absolute Editions, Marvel Masterworks, you name it, they have it. They have one of the widest selections that I've found across the internet as far as the variety of books in stock. Is like the go-to place for me when I'm looking for collected editions. As always, if you're not familiar, on their homepage, they have deals of the week. They change them multiple times a month, pretty much about once a week. You can get 50% off. Normally, without the deals of the week, they have deals ranging from 35 to 42% off. And again, on the front page of InStockTrades.com, they have a deals of the week section that they have about 5 books that they update weekly that you get 50% off on. If you're a U.S. customer, you place an order of $50 or more, you get free shipping within the U.S., but that's only for U.S. customers. If you're an international customer, you still get all the great deals, and you can still get the deals of the week for 50% off, but you don't get that extra bonus of an order of $50 or more, you get free shipping. If you're international, they have some of the most competitive international shipping rates around, but you don't get that free shipping. That's only for U.S. customers. I want to make that clear. So if you order that, you don't be like, James told me something wrong and they don't have it. So just keep that in mind if you happen to be an international listener of the show and you go check out InStockTrades.com. Want to give another shout out to my friends over at the Comics Podcast Network. You can find them over at comicspodcast.com. It's a great place to go if you like comic book related podcast and you like this show and you want to find more shows like it. Stop over to the Comics Podcast Network. There are literally hundreds of podcasts listed there. The directory of podcasts that are listed on the Comic Podcast Network grows daily with new shows on there. So if you want to find something on a particular character, you can find it. Particular publisher, you can find it. It's so vast on different topics that you can find people doing a podcast for. So whatever your flavor, if you like a show like this, that's a one-man podcast, there's plenty of those there. Or if you like a roundtable discussion type podcast, they have all different types and flavors. So if you have a moment and you like this show and you want to find more related content, definitely stop over to the Comics Podcast Network, which you can find over at comicspodcast.com. With that being said, let's get into our talk about Injustice. Again, Injustice is made by NetherRealm Studios. I'm not going to assume that everybody here that listens to a comic book related podcast is a gamer as well. I'm very passionate about video games. I created a secondary podcast years ago, which was called Pop Media Savant, which I talked about my other love of things outside of comics, where I discussed video games, movies, television that wasn't comic book centric. I stopped doing it just about 2 or 3 years ago, thinking about restarting it up as like a YouTube channel. I'm still batting around with the idea. I don't play games nearly as much as I used to. I still play video games somewhat on a regular basis, but I'm not the avid gamer I was back in my 20s. As a 41-year-old man, I play considerably less video games. So I always had a love for video games. My first passion has still always been comics, but if I would say movies is probably my secondary passion, and probably games would be my third. So that's, if you know, my passion towards stuff. NetherRealm Studios is famous for, they're the company behind games like Mortal Kombat, which their big last release was what was it, Mortal Kombat X, that came out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One a couple of years back. Before that, they had Injustice, but they're mainly known and made their name, their name off of the Mortal Kombat series of games, and that goes back to Mortal Kombat came out late 80s, early 90s, I want to say. It was back in my high school years. It was a while ago. So NetherRealm Studios, they were a part of Midway. Then they broke off to their own studio about, it seems like 10 or so years ago. NetherRealm Studios been around for a good little bit now, but it's still the kind of core creative that we've known from all the great Mortal Kombat games. This is the second, Injustice, the game in the Injustice series. The first game that came out back in 2013 was a huge hit. I fell in love with the game. It's one of those weird dynamics when you talk about video games and comic book related games, the quality of them, and it's, we've had some good games that I've talked about previously, in passing about other games like The Walking Dead, that's made by Telltale Games. They have a series of Walking Dead games that are episodic adventure games that they've had 3 seasons of, and it's a super strong series. When that first season came out, it was nominated for Game of the Year and won some different sites and won different awards for being Game of the Year. Super strong game. Over the years, we've had some exceptional Spider-Man games that back in the day that Activision put out on multiple platforms. We've had by Rocksteady, we've had the Batman Arkham games. Those have been exceptional. Then we've had a lot of stinkers in there. So it's rare to find really good comic book centric video games. So it's good that this series, it remains to be seen because the second game hasn't hit yet. It's been a lot of press. They just had a huge media event and live stream this past weekend. It was kind of funny because I already had this plan to do. This was a game that I plan on picking up at some point. I don't know for sure if I'm going to get it at launch, like I did the first game, but it's really a fun game, and they had some really great characters. So just to give you guys a little bit of background about the Injustice series, it came out in 2013. It was hugely popular. After the game hit, and with it being such a success, DC launched the Injustice comic book that has run for multiple years. They ended the first series, and I think the first comic series, I never got around to reading it, but from what I understand, it covered the events leading up into the release of the first game. Then you get the story of the first game. And one thing I thought that was real innovative about it, because sometimes Mortal Kombat, and this was another NetherRealm's thing, they were always good and fun playing fighting games, but it didn't have much story to it. So something they did with the license that they have with DC, they did a really good job in building a really awesome story around Injustice. And so when you played the single player mode, it wasn't like normal fighting games, like you got to play one character and you play through the narrative, and you would get, normally with the old Mortal Kombat games, you didn't even get a cutscene. And this is when cutscenes were popular in video games. You literally got a text box kind of like telling you the character's story. Over the years they had evolved and it got better, but they really did a good job in Injustice. In the single player mode, you changed through different characters to see different perspectives of the story. It was a lot of banter between, like, at the beginning of a fight when it would load up, it would be bannered based on specific characters and if they had turned on one another and what their alliances were. So you got little bits of story between that, and you had really cool cutscenes and really cool dialogue and cutscenes at the end of fights. And you played it. It forced you to play as multiple characters. You couldn't just stick with one character in the main story mode. You played, I can't remember, like up to 6 or 8 different characters. So you got a handle on a lot of more than just one character. It forced you to use other ones to play with them and see how cool they were. And it was a story component built into it, which was really good. In this, this game has been out since 2013. For Injustice, it was a story about basically like it's a Elseworlds type story. This is not tied into any specific continuity. It was a situation where in this world, the Joker basically planted a bomb in Metropolis, and basically it was a situation where Lois Lane got killed. Superman kind of flipped and blamed Batman because he's like, if you had killed Joker a long time ago, this wouldn't have happened. Superman snaps. He kills Joker, and then he found out that Lois was pregnant. So when she got blown up in the bomb explosion by the Joker, he totally snapped. He becomes this dictator over the world. He creates something that's called the regime, and alliances are broken. Certain heroes side with him, certain villains side with him. So it's a really cool little story, Elseworld type story that they built. The first game had 24 playable characters when the game was released, and then it had 6 DLC characters. It was originally, when you bought the season pass for the game, it was originally announced as 4. So many fans, because the game was so popular, were clamoring for more. They eventually released 2 more characters for a total of 6. 6 DLC characters for an overall total of characters in the game of 30. It was originally Injustice Gods Among Us was initially released on the last generation of consoles, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. It was later, because the game was still popular and still selling pretty well, when the new generation of consoles came out, they did like an Ultimate Game of the Year edition, I think it's Injustice Ultimate Edition, for the next generation, for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So it did come out on those consoles as well sometime later. Now, the playable characters you had in the first Injustice game, you had Batman, Nightwing, Flash, Cyborg, Green Arrow, Superman, Raven, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Hawkgirl, Captain Marvel or Shazam, Green Lantern, Joker, Harley Quinn, Solomon Grundy, Lex Luthor, Catwoman, Deathstroke, Ares, Killer Frost, Doomsday, Sinestro, Black Adam, and Bane. So it was a pretty diverse cast of characters for your initial cast. Then as DLC, we got Martian Manhunter, Zatanna, Batgirl, Lobo, General Zod, and Scorpion, which were great additions to the cast to round out the cast of characters. It was a really, really fun game. Like I said, the story mode was good. It was a great competitive game. It was a lot of unlockables. They added a lot of DLC content, which we see in a lot of games like this. But I thought it was really cool in Injustice, because I had it on PlayStation 3. I eventually later, when the PlayStation 4 came out, it was one of the games that I got again, which was kind of stupid because I had already beat the game and played through it. But I still got it because at the time wasn't a ton of games out on PlayStation 4. So it was just like something I could play on my PlayStation 4. They did a really cool initiative. It was a lot of alternate skins for characters. So a lot of characters had different looks. Like for Green Arrow, Arrow was already had started on, CW. So it was a skin for Stephen Amell's Arrow character. Man of Steel had been out. It was a Henry Cavill Superman skin for Zod when he was released as DLC. They later did a skin for I'm forgetting the actor's name. I'm seeing his face. Whoever the guy was that played Zod and Superman and Man of Steel, they had, a skin for his character. They had alternate skins for Green Lantern, where they had an alternate skin of, it was a Jonathan Stewart alternate skin. They had so many. They had one for Batgirl that was the Cassandra Cain version. It was multiple for like Batman. It was multiple for Superman. They had like Red Sun Superman, Red Sun Batman, Red Sun Wonder Woman. It was a lot of multiple skins. They made a ton of money on skin packs. They would release them like crazy. I think they were like $5. It was cool because you could really role play and make your character your own based on whatever version that you wanted to have from history. They plucked from all different times and places, and I assume that coming in, this Injustice 2 is going to be no different as far as that was concerned. A very, very strong game. Like I said, the first game was an awesome game. What we do know about things that have changed in the new game, Injustice 2, is that the big thing they're touting is character customization. Through progressing and playing the game, you earn like different armor pieces and suit pieces through playing the game. You won't have to buy these things, but I'm assuming they'll have, for people that don't have time or air quote want to pay to play, they'll be able to maybe buy some of these pieces. But if you play through the game, you can actually earn different armor pieces that will give you different player attributes to really customize and make your best version of whatever your character or characters you choose to use. Now, let me talk about some of the, which is a huge, change from Injustice 1, which I don't know how that's going to go over. We'll see. They've done a couple of closed betas. I've seen different little videos on YouTube and things like that. I try to stay away from it because it went from no coverage to over the past maybe like 2 months ramping up for release. I feel like the game has been overexposed a little bit, and it kind of pushed me back from running to get this day one, because I feel like for certain things I've seen too much of the game. But getting back to like the roster of characters, like I said, this time, instead of it being 24 playable characters, it will be 29 playable characters at the game's launch. And they've already announced that it's going to be 9 DLC characters, which ups the total from 30 to 38 in this new game. We have not been made aware of any of those 9 characters yet. We do have the all playable 29 characters. They've done something which is part of my problem with it, has kind of quelled my anticipation of the game. They've basically released game trailers of each individual character, ramping up to launch the game, ending with the big live stream. And I think my main issue is they have, these super finishers, like their finishing moves, but in Mortal Kombat they were called fatalities. Of course, these are licensed characters, so you can't have the depiction of killing characters. So it's just like super moves, and they're really, really cool. And it's a fun thing of the game. They've shown every character that's playable's finisher in the gameplay trailer. And like the little gameplay trailer introducing the character is about 2 minutes long, 2.5 minutes long, about the length of a standard movie trailer. But they make sure they show off some of the special moves and the finishing moves. Now, I don't know if it might be something where certain characters might have multiple finishing moves. In the first game, each character just had one. So it'll be curious to see. It was that why they were showing it, but I felt like they overexposed too much because I didn't want to see everyone's finishing move. That's the cool part about playing the game and being able to pull off the move and be like awestruck. And if I've already seen them all, it's a fighting game. That's the main pull. You have the story mode is strong based on the first game, but don't give me everything up front. I'm already sold. I'm a huge fan of the first franchise, the first game. Give me gameplay trailers, but don't show the special or, maybe for a few of the characters, but not every single character. So going over the roster of the 29 playable that we know of at this point, we have Batman returning, we have Superman, which are the main characters kind of in this universe set up from the first game. You have Aquaman that's coming back. We have Supergirl, Gorilla Grodd, Atrocitus, Cyborg, Cheetah, Catwoman, Swamp Thing, Black Canary, Robin, Brainiac, Poison Ivy, Bane, Blue Beetle, The Flash, Harley Quinn, Wonder Woman, Deadshot, Dr. Fate, Green Lantern, Firestorm, Green Arrow, Black Adam, Captain Cold, Scarecrow, Darkseid, which he's a pre-order bonus character, and Joker. Now, Darkseid, I don't know if you don't pre-order the game and you get it after it launches, will you still be able to purchase him, or are you totally locked out? I think that probably will be silly, so they probably will do what they did previously and maybe release him after the game comes out as a DLC character. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I know previously after the season pass came out, if you didn't get the season pass of characters, I want to say they were $5 a pop, which was kind of steep, but it was worth it, because if there were characters you really liked, they added a whole nother level of dimension in the game, and it was just new characters to play with. And I love just going through figuring out their specials, and they had a mode where it wasn't the main story mode, but it was kind of like traditional Mortal Kombat. Like you fought through, like if it was a good guy, you fought through all the bad guys, you fought the boss at the end, you got a little story deal, and you would unlock alternate skins or things like that, or different stages and all that kind of cool stuff. So it was all things tied into like a reward based system. So I don't know how that's going to work this go around. And when the Ultimate Edition came out, that was one reason why I got it, and I regretted I got it because I got it. That is not a word. When I got it for PlayStation 4, the Ultimate Edition, everything was unlocked. Everything was given to you. When I was playing it on PlayStation 3, the cool thing about it was you had to earn and unlock all the cool trinkets and the skin. Like, you had the skins and everything. So it was like you didn't have to work for anything in the game. You just had everything when you got it. And it took out all the fun of the game, because it gave me something to keep playing the game for, to unlock this new skin that I could, if I wasn't going to buy it, or, this, that, and the third, or unlock a particular stage or different abilities, you did it through playing the game, and they kind of took that aspect out of it. So it'll be interesting to see how it'll be handled. It'll also be interesting. This roster of characters is okay, and through the gameplay trailers, I'm not like blown away by the roster. I like some of the additions. It makes sense they have Supergirl in the game. She has a very popular show on the CW. That makes sense. Gorilla Grodd has been used on the Flash television show. Just used again as recently as this current season. Atrocitus, they called for Atrocitus a lot. I remember that in the first game, so it made sense to include him. Cheetah makes sense, because I tend to think of Cheetah as Wonder Woman's like arch nemesis, so it makes sense to have her in the game. And I was surprised she wasn't in the first one, but you have Ares, and I understood that. Black Canary, again, another popular character. If you have Arrow, their history in the comics, and then from the TV show, she's been a prominent character. You don't have Nightwing, but you have Robin, Damian Wayne Robin. He's hugely popular character. Brainiac, cool to see in the game. Bane, cool to have him back in the game. Blue Beetle was a huge fan request that never quite made it, so they made sure he got put into this game. Deadshot, Suicide Squad tie-in. The Joker being back in the game, and I don't know how that's going to work, since he was we know he was killed in the first game, and how the storyline in this world goes, so I don't know how he's back. That'll be interesting to see. Captain Cold. These are characters that are just popular for them. I feel like their uses in other media, so it makes sense to kind of put them in the game. I hope they do a skin for the Wentworth Miller version of Captain Cold from the Arrowverse of shows. because I love Wentworth Miller. I love what he does with the character, so I would love to see that skin. They did it previously. I hope they do that tradition again. I hope we get a Ben Affleck skin for Batman, another Henry Cavill skin for Superman, maybe a Jason Momoa. You have these crossover, and it's funny with the characters. Aquaman was in the first game, so he's a returning character. But with the Justice League coming out, and it's coming out, the end of the year, it's going to be like a Justice League skin pack for all the Justice League characters to get their movie versions in the game. It just screams money, and CW versions of, all these characters, because what we've seen, Captain Cold, we've seen Green Arrow, Firestorm, Flash, Black Canary, and Gorilla Grodd, Supergirl, all in the CW, so that you can have a couple of skin packs for CW. You have for the DC expanded, DCEU expanded universe. You got Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, potentially Darkseid. We don't know if he's in the Justice League movie. So there's a lot they can do there with doing skins. That, again, I think the skin packs were about either $3.99 or $4.99 a pop, and they gave you a different couple alternate costumes, like 3 or 4. So they're going to make a killing. They made a killing off the last game, and I even bought I can't even imagine how much money I spent on the first Injustice, buying different skins, and when the additional DLC characters came out past the season pass, I bought them. I probably purchased the game 2 times or 3 times over with DLC, but I was such a comic book nerd. I wanted to see what the alternate skins, and being able to have that freedom to switch them out. It's just I hesitate. That's why I'm kind of hesitating on getting the game at launch, because you can get so sucked in and just want to see it. It's going to be a money pit, and I don't have a lot of money, and I can see it sucking me in right now. So I'm holding off. Or maybe if the right person over at NetherRealms or DC might listen to this podcast, you can always hook a brother up and send him a code for the game at comicbooksavant@gmail.com. Just a shout out. You know what I'm saying? I'll play it, I'll review it. Awesome. And this video is not a sponsored video for the listeners, so you just know I'm just a huge fan of video games in general. And like I said, the first game was so good. And also, which is a cool thing about the Injustice world, or what NetherRealms did, I don't play games on my phone at all. But this is one actual series. They have a mobile game, Injustice, the first one, mobile. I think this week, maybe Friday, I want to say. It's sometime this week, from what I saw in their live stream last weekend, that they're launching the Injustice 2, and it was really cool because it's linked to the game, and you can play the game on your phone or tablet and unlock stuff that you can get in the game, and completing certain things in the game unlocks things on the phone, the mobile version. So it's really cool synergy, and it was really nicely put together. I saw them showing footage of the new game. It looks really good. It's not like the ugly stepchild of the game. It is really high quality. They're doing something different with the actual game controls from the first game, so it's going to be interesting when that comes out. I'll give you guys an update. Like I said, it comes out sometime this week. I want to say it's Friday that it's coming out, so I'm definitely going to download it, check it out on my phone. I used to play the first one quite a bit. And, after I kind of got burnt out with the game, I just deleted it off my phone or whatever. But I used to play it a ton. Whenever I had free time or sitting around the house or watching a show or whatever, and I wanted to play something real quick, I got totally sucked in and unlocking all the, different stuff in the game. Super fun. You can still download the first Injustice mobile game if you want to check it out and just kind of get a taste or a flavor for what the game is and what it's about. Definitely do that. So like I said, it's synergy on so many different levels. It is a comic. Like I said, I didn't read the comic at all. It was the first series, and I heard I was just watching an interview with Ed Boon, which is the president of NetherRealm Studios, one of the co-creators of the original Mortal Kombat game. He runs NetherRealm Studios, and he was just talking about, you know, the where everything in the timeline takes place. And the first Injustice comic book takes place before the game, then it's the game, it's the Injustice 2 comic book, and then the Injustice 2 game. So that's kind of the timeline of the world. So you can still go back and read the comic, play the first game, you know, read the new comic, and go into the second game to get more of that world fleshed out with the comic books in between the two games, which I think is really cool. I don't really have too much else to say outside, you know, I'm very, very much looking forward to this series. Like I said, I feel like it got a little bit overexposed in these last 2 months. Like I've just, it took my anticipation down a notch, because I felt like I've seen most of the game. I'm still excited about it, and I've had so much fun with the first game. I know I'm going to have fun with the second game. Again, I probably won't get it. Excuse me. When did I say the game was coming out? Yeah, on the 16th. I think I said at the beginning of the episode that it comes out May 17th. It comes out May 16th of this month. So I think it's definitely worth a buy if you're a comics fan and you like fighting games. If you don't like fighting games, you've never played like the first Injustice or some of the Mortal Kombat games, more recent Mortal Kombat games, you can get a feel. The combat is pretty similar. I think I liked about the first Injustice is that because the Mortal Kombat games, because they've been out for so long, the controls can be somewhat complicated. I'm not going to say they dumbed them down, but I felt like they streamlined the controls to a point. Like the motions for like the moves were all the same on each character, because I played with so many different characters, because it really promoted you to do that. The motions would be the same, but you know, like, so to do a medium attack on every character was the same. Now what they did with their medium attack was specific to that character and their abilities and powers, whereas you know, on something like Mortal Kombat, not every character has a projectile move or certain kicks or certain things, so the controls could be so vastly different per character in the game. Here it was more streamlined, so after you learn how to do a particular motion or control pattern, it was the same throughout for each character, but what they did was different. And I really thought that was a good selling point, because I had kind of gotten out of the Mortal Kombat games quite a bit and hadn't played one in a while. But Injustice just grabbed me, and I know NetherRealms make quality fighting games, so that was what opened me up to the concept of even trying the game in the first place. And I felt like that was the coolest part, and it prompted and promoted you to play with every single character. And I did. I had my particular favorites, but it was one game I could pretty much pick up and play with every, any character at every given point. I was better with some than others. I think in the first Injustice game, of course, I'm a Batman fan and a Nightwing fan. I played with Batman and Nightwing quite a bit. Martian Manhunter, after he was released, I played with quite a bit. I loved Batgirl. I loved General Zod. I loved his standard design. Michael Shannon. Boom. Michael Shannon is the actor that played Zod, and he had his skin. I like the design they did in game a little bit better than his skin from because I didn't care for his look per se that much in Man of Steel. So I just liked his regular skin and would play with General Zod a lot. He was really good. Trying to think about Flash was good. But those were some of my favorite characters from the first game. Again, I'm doing this from memory, and I haven't played the game in years now, or at least a good year or so since the last time I played it. So with this cast of characters, I could see myself playing a lot as Batman. Since we don't have Nightwing at this point, I would probably say Robin, because I love Damian Wayne. The Flash. Oh, Wonder Woman was another favorite of mine from the first game that I would probably play a lot in this one. And it's a toss-up as far as anyone else. But as far as the gameplay footage I've seen in the different little trailers they were released, those are the characters that kind of stand out to me. Like I said, I really think it's going to be interesting. One thing I forgot to mention, on the original Injustice, it was... they had a lot of different fighting modes. They had something that was called Star Labs, where they had like these different fight-related challenges that you could earn stars to unlock more stuff in the game. I don't know. I haven't heard anything, and I've kind of watched certain coverage in the game, and then other stuff I stayed away from because I didn't want to be spoiled. I don't remember hearing anything in any of the interviews I've recently heard about that Star Labs mode coming out. It was kind of cool, but then it was like some of the challenges was kind of annoying, but it was something else to flesh out the game outside of just playing the main fighting mode or playing against someone if you're a single player, which I thought was a value added to it because it allowed, gave you something else in the game to do to unlock all this cool stuff, because it was tons of things to unlock. And it's like, I kind of think, because I don't play, I have a group, and I have a gamer group that I play with, a clan that I play with of really close friends. It's about 20 of us that we play games together. But like certain games like Injustice, not everyone's into the same game. So Injustice is kind of a game that I would normally play by myself. I didn't do any online competitive play. So eventually when I get it, I'll let you guys know. So if you want to, add me on PSN, and if you want to play, I'm definitely down to do that. I definitely would love playing with you guys. But again, like I said, whenever I get the game, at this point, I don't think I'm getting it at launch. Again, unless the right people hear this and they want to hook a brother up, I will do it, and I will do a full review when it comes, if I do. But until that happens, like I said, I don't know exactly when I'm going to buy the game, and but I will. Again, I'll let it be known. So, and then I'll give you guys my PSN if you want to add me. And then we can definitely play online, because I think that would be cool. I really didn't do it that much when the first game came out, but I would really like to interact with you guys more. Again, I can't say enough about the love I'm getting on Facebook, love on Instagram. You guys have been awesome with just showing me love. Let me know that you guys are out there. Like I said, I can't say it enough. It means so much to myself and other creators to hear back and know, because we get to only see numbers. We don't get to do individual to see you guys. I mean, I know for me personally, last time I was at a comic book convention to actually meet listeners has been, it's 2017. I want to say like 2012 or 2013 maybe was the last time I went to a convention of any sort. So I want to get back to doing that at some point, because it's no better feeling than meeting the people that help support you and help you grow, this endeavor. Like I said, I never knew, shoot, I almost said the bad word. I never thought when I started doing this podcast thing, 10 plus years ago, that I would still be doing it now. I didn't even know if I was going to make it past 5 episodes. And, as of this episode is 335, it's amazing to have made it this far and still growing. I still feel like I have a lot of growing to do. And a lot more people I want to reach. I believe heavily in what I do. I still, after 10 years and numerous hundreds of episodes, I still love what I do. This is like, I can't see myself not doing it. I think about that sometimes. Like, maybe at some point you guys will get tired of me and what I do, but I truly love what I do. It doesn't tire. It has literally, to sit down in front of the microphone and do the show every week has become a part of my actual being as a person. Like, when I don't record or something, personal comes up and I can't, it throws the rest of me off. It's just has a fiber in my being at this point, which is weird to say, but that's how much I just enjoy being able to talk and discuss the world of comics with you guys, even though it's, I don't hear what you say right back, it's through, different mediums that I hear back. But it's a part of what I do. I can't stop doing it. Maybe I'm addicted to it. It's a habit I just can't kick. I don't know. Yes, I said a rap lyric. But anyway, follow me as always on the different social media platforms. Also, always have the website, comicbooksavant.com. Go there, check it out. All the previous episodes are listed there. It's a search box mechanic. So if there's any topic that you might think hey, I wonder if he's covered the topic. Type it in. It should come up. All the episodes have been cataloged pretty well, so you should be able to find anything I've ever done an episode for. If you search for it, you should be able to find it on through that search tool. I'm on Twitter at Comic Book Savant. I'm on Instagram and most active on Instagram at this point because that's one platform, social media platform I feel like I've figured out. So I'm using Instagram. So please give me a follow on Instagram. Give me a follow on Twitter. Again, the Facebook page is facebook.com/Comic Book Savant. Check it out there. The YouTube channel, youtube.com/Comic Book Savant. Again, like I told you guys last episode, I'm gonna do next week's episode. Of course, will be a review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that comes out on Friday. I'm going this weekend to see it, so next week's episode will be a review of that. And I'm going to do a video component. It'll be my first actual video that I'm going to do for the YouTube channel. Right now, previous episodes are listed there, so if you want to listen to previous episodes, you can go to the YouTube channel, but video content is coming. That'll be my first video of any sort that I'll do, live video that'll go up on there. It'll be a companion piece. It won't be on this feed, so if you're subscribed through iTunes, you will have to go specifically to the YouTube channel to get that video. I'll talk about it I guess I will film it before I will record next week's episode, so it'll be up in conjunction with one another. That's all I have for you guys. If you want to support the show, again, I have a PayPal link, direct link on the website. It's a support page, and it has different ways. If you can, please do. Again, just spreading the word and sharing out and retweeting the different links through social media when new episodes come out or when I post something does a lot, and it has been drawing in new people. But if you want to help financially, it's a Patreon page that I have up for Comic Book Savant. I have like one whole Patreon, which is my best friend, which is really kind of sad. But I still keep the Patreon up because, again, I know this is free content, but it does cost to make the content that comes out. So if you can, bear to support even $1 a month, it helps. I put it back towards the show for equipment, to go places, to do things all related to the show. So if you want to support, like I said, it's a different avenue. It's patreon.com/Comic Book Savant. Then it is a direct PayPal link. If you want to make this a one-time donation, you can do that as well. All the links are on the website. Like I said, if you go to, let me look, I think it is under support. Actually, it's the donate link goes directly to the PayPal me. You can just, like I said, make a one-time donation. If you want to help support the show, you can do it through the donate link. Then it's a Patreon link. And then it's a support page. So again, it's different ways. If you want to support the show, you can. If you can't monetarily, that's perfectly fine. You can always leave reviews on iTunes, follow me on social media, and spread the word. I'm on, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, also on Google Plus as well. Tell friends, share links. Let I have one sponsor, which is InStockTrades.com, letting them know, that you heard about them through me. That always helps me. But if you can financially kick in anything, that's greatly appreciated. And like I said, it's a donate link for PayPal me. It's paypal.me/Comic Book Savant. And then it's a Patreon link, which is patreon.com/Comic Book Savant. I have, like I said, big visions on where I want to take the show. I need your continued support to get there. So if you can, that's greatly appreciated. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else. This is what I need, because you guys are more talented than I am when it comes to certain things, and I do understand that. I want some new music for the podcast. If you guys are musicians, I need new intro and outro music. I need a new theme song to the show. Help me, please. I've been using the same music since the beginning. I found it on a royalty free site, and I've used the same song, and I need new music. It's, I've updated the logo multiple times over the years, and that seems easier because I'm a comic book podcaster and I need art. People will come in groves, but I need music. So if you know someone, hit me up on social media, or you can always email me at comicbooksavant.com. Please, oh please, I need new music. Somebody help me with that. With all that stuff being said, this is the Comic Book Savant, James Harris. That's all I have for you this week. I see you again next week for another episode of Comic Book Savant. You guys take care. And check out Injustice. If you haven't, check it out. It's a really good game. Or prep to pick up Injustice 2 that's coming out again May 16th. So I will see you guys next week for another episode. Take care.
And into lyrical wholeness. And I know this. And I know this. This I know. This I know.